Hi, welcome to Bishop Mac Basic Tech Field Guide.
So this is going to be a short informational video on basic IT stuff in your classroom. The more patronizing this video sounds, the better. So let's begin.
Basic troubleshooting. First things you should check is it plugged in at both ends? If it doesn't have power, it won't turn on. Second, you should check that it is turned on. This goes for monitors, speakers, computers, and all that jazz.
If it is a software issue, it often helps just to simply restart your computer.
Next, fiddle with cables. There might be a loose connection or a broken one. Check them and make sure that everything is held together properly. After that, restart again. Just to be sure, if all else fails, just check the relevant section in this book. Computer ports are the spots that you plug things into in your computer. First of all, there's USB. USB comes in 2.0 and 3.0 variant. 3.0 is faster and better in every way. This is used for keyboard, mice, and all that fun stuff. USB 3.0 is usually made with blue plastic on the inside. If what you're plugging in has blue on the inside as well, match it with those if possible. Or else, if the device you're plugging in is 3.0 and is being plugged into a non-3.0 port, this will bottleneck it and make it slower. The most common video port you'll find around the school is VGA. This only does video. It's most commonly blue and has small screws on the side to keep it plugged in. This is not to be confused with DVI or serial ports, which look the same but are very different.
HDMI is an updated standard over VGA. It can carry a larger video signal, which shouldn't matter too much in a classroom environment, but most notably it can carry audio. Notably, if there is a 3.5 audio jack plugged into your computer, it will take priority over the HDMI's audio stream. On the software side of projecting to a second screen or projector, the Windows key plus P shortcut is a very useful shortcut to quickly select your output mode. Duplicate is easy to use as it's simply a mirror of your current display. However, the disadvantages are that both screens will have to match in resolution, which leads to black bars on the side of your screen and a lower resolution display. Extend Display is a more powerful option that allows you to use the projector and your computer monitor as if they were two different physical spaces. The projector monitor will by default be off to the right of your desktop display and will function essentially as an extension, as alluded to in the name. It will allow you to, in addition to other things, preview windows before placing them up in front of your class. It will allow you to use presenter mode, a useful tool in PowerPoint, and it will mean that both screens can function at their desired native resolution. When it comes to Macs, there are a couple other hoops to jump through. Old Macs have a mini DisplayPort for their video out. You will likely have an adapter to adapt it to either HDMI or VGA. Newer Macs use a USB Type-C port, which is actually a USB port functioning on the USB 3.1 standard, which allows it to, amongst other things, project to a second display. This will function as your adaptable video out. On the software side, if you want to change your display mode, go to System Preferences, Displays, and Arrangement. There is a checkbox for mirroring displays, and leaving it unchecked will have duplicate displays. This screen will also allow you to rearrange displays. Alternatively, the Command plus Brightness Down key will toggle the mirror or extend modes. In terms of audio interface, the standard audio interface is a 3.5mm jack, often known as a headphone jack. This will plug in at both ends to transmit audio. Audio out will be highlighted by the telltale green label. However, on some computers, it is combined with the microphone out, which is traditionally a pink label. Both ports will be shown usually in a colorless jack with a headset icon next to them. This is mostly common on laptops. Occasionally, depending on your model of computer, there will also be various other colored, similar, identical looking ports. These are also 3.5mm out jacks. They are for a surround sound setup. You will likely not need to bother with them in a classroom setting. A couple of other useful tools. Bitly links. Bitly is a link shortener, which means you can input a link onto the Bitly site, and Bitly will give you a much shorter, far easier to type into a computer URL that you could write, say, up on a board or project onto a screen that will allow your students to access web content without having to type in a full URL. Additionally, making an account on bitly.com will allow you to customize the ending of a Bitly link. The only unique part, the bit.ly, is standard, to something far easier to understand and easier to type into a browser. QR codes are another alternative for distributing web content. They take the form of what is essentially an advanced barcode that you can project onto your screen in front of the class. Students will be able to scan it with a variety of QR code scanning apps that will redirect them to a URL. To generate a QR code for a specific URL, go to this link and paste your URL into the field. hit enter and you will be able to download an image of your QR code. However, it is a good practice to have a backup bit.ly or other means of accessing for a QR code, as this may not be the most reliable method of distributing web content.
Incognito browsing can be really handy for presentation day. When you have a lot of students logging in and out of a computer to access their accounts, using incognito mode will ensure that these accounts do not stay on your computer. This will prevent anyone from logging into these accounts in the future, since they won't be saved on the computer.
And once a student closes the incognito window, they will be signed out permanently of their account. Therefore, instead of having multiple students sign in and add their Google accounts to your browser, you could simply use multiple incognito windows to avoid the hassle.
When choosing an internet browser, for the most part you'll want to use Google Chrome or Mozilla Firefox. You should use Firefox or Chrome instead of Edge or Explorer because they're more powerful and more user-friendly, and also better supported. Control-Shift-T is really handy for when you accidentally close a tab, because just hitting it will open up the last tab you closed. The more times you hit it, the more tabs it will open. Control-W closes the current tab, and Control-Shift-Escape will open the task manager. This will let you kill any unresponsive programs.
Alright, I hope these various tips have been helpful. If not, your students will probably know what to do.